there were rumblings that this couldn't last forever and things don't continue to just go up, you know, and that this would burst, and everybody just decided to sort of make hay while the sun was shining.
Well, we're here to discuss some of the style elements from the film. On a slightly more upbeat note, the style of this was fantastic. I remember seeing this film originally, but now looking at it through the prism of the style, I feel like I enjoyed this a lot more this time around as well. And perhaps we'll just break them down in characters, starting with Jeremy Irons, who I feel was a bit of a show stealer. Zed, how did you judge the style of Jeremy Irons in this film?
So he, certainly in terms of tie choice, the red tie and subtle blue dots, it's very, I think there's an article which I'll forward on to you, but it's very much akin of what the CEOs of the US banks were wearing in those days, named like Jamie Dimon, Richard Fuld, who was of Lehman Brothers, and it is very much the style that he wears in terms of like power and strength that it symbolizes. Certainly his suiting is a lot more looser than some of the other, in terms of silhouettes, in terms of other people inside the film. And I think it's more of a throwback to the 1980s. And certainly that's what I think they're trying to portray across, a veteran of the 1980s banking culture and industry who's led to the top, and that's his style. I did feel his button-down collars were a bit of a letdown, but that's but certainly he comes across very, you know, in that 9-minute meeting, as soon as he enters, you could tell the power he has, and you know, his costume and attire really reflect that.
Yeah, I did notice the button-down collar, and I got confused because I was thinking, well, he is a man of power. He is the Amiga at the table here, and I never thought button-down collars were something that portrayed that. But what did you think about that, Ben?
It was an odd choice, and I can only think it was a deliberate. I mean, yeah, the throwback for the loose-fitting suit, almost boxy baggy, the 80s, and certainly parts of the 90s. But that shirt, man, I can only think that they were trying to do that because they, at one point, they referred to him as a billionaire until the market fell out and they don't know how much he's worth. But maybe that choice for that shabby chic sort of thing is like, I'm a billionaire, and I'm a billionaire because I save my pennies and I buy my shirts at JCPenney and
right,
or you know, whatever the British equivalent is for a lower end discount department store. I can only think I'm a billionaire because I don't spend money on clothes. But yeah, the shirt was a weird choice for that character. But other than that, the fit, the style of the suit all fits the character. And yeah, you know, throw back to the 80s, 90s when he was coming up, and maybe, like I said, he's saving money by not spending money on more clothes, like all the other characters in the movie trying to make it work.
Zed, how did you break down the style of Kevin Spacey in this film?
So there's very much a similarity in terms of to Jeremy Irons' character, in the sense there's a lot of 80s undertones in terms of his dress. The use of braces, the Bengal striped shirts, the patterned ties. You can see that evolution from from the 80s and 90s, so very much from the kind of Wall Street era. And it reinforces his role as a veteran of being within the firm. I know he mentions it time and time again in the film, he's been with the firm like 34 years. And I think this kind of reinforces, it also kind of reinforces that he's kind of probably stable at that position where he's at. He's probably not seeking to go higher up in the firm. And he's comfortable where he is, and he's comfortable in terms of his dress sense that, you know, he's seeing there's younger people can be coming after his job, but he's kind of got that, he's entrenched with the firm, and he's happy in that position. And certainly, I think he's the only one in the film that's actually wearing braces. So again, it's kind of reinforcing that 80s look as well.
Yeah. Did you enjoy Kevin Spacey's performance in this, Ben?
Oh, that's a loaded question. You can't. I'm not sure you can say anything nice about Kevin Spacey these days, can you?
Back in the day when when it was
pretend it's 10 years ago. If you can separate the art from the man, yeah. You can't ever knock the guy's performance. And yeah, the wardrobe, the costuming is right at it. Even just the Charlie Sheen's and Michael Douglas's Wall Street movie, which is, you know, in the 80s, it's very much those. You know, if you had the big time cassette boombox in the back, you know, almost that sort of 1980s sort of look to it. But
yeah,
I mean, I appreciated it for what it was. Certainly nothing I would want to wear myself, but yeah, it
didn't grab
that
it.
loaded question. Do you like Kevin Spacey? Oh man, get me in trouble.
I threw Ben under the bus on that one. Zed, you should have stood up and says objection, Your Honor. Moving on to what have we got next? Simon Baker. He played Jared, and he reports to Told and is Sam's boss. So remind me of who this guy is. Oh, I know who this guy is. Yeah. Zed. Yeah, tell me about.
He's a countryman of yours, isn't he?
Is he? Is this guy?
I think
is this guy an English guy?
he's Brit.
I think he's Australian.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe it's right. Okay.
Yeah, he's too good looking to be British. those aren't British genes going on in there. Anyway, I'll have to cut that out. Zed, what did you make of Simon Baker's performance?
Oh, I mean, he is tailored to the max. I mean, his suits are his navy blue suit, his white shirts, his light blue ties. I mean, he is pristine. Even at like 2 o'clock in the morning, he is looking like, very sharp and still alert. And I mean, and I think I mentioned that like is the light blue ties. I think that's a deliberate choice by the costume designer to match with his eye color. And you do see him have a costume change because I think he's the only one who's actually gone to the bathroom in this film to actually have a shave and get more presentable for the next day. And he's wearing a nice pinpoint collared shirt, and again a very nice light blue tie. And I mean, I think I read some as well that light blue, it's a color of calmness, so color of the sea, color of the sky, and you see him that. Yes, he does. He may lose his temperament a little bit, but he comes across as very calm and collected when his interactions with Tald, with his interactions with through the first and second meetings, and I think that kind of reflects the character very well. And and his dress sense is very expensive, and as it should be because of his position within the firm.
Yes, I felt like he was possibly the best dressed, or the suit and the colours and everything else matched a lot better for this character. Ben, what did you think when this guy rocked up?
I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, if there's one wardrobe I want to steal, it's his. And I mean, exactly everything that Zed said. He's just put together the guy who you want to be in charge in the crisis. That is one cool customer. I think in that deceptively cool customer, that when it's time to throw down the hammer, he will do it. He'll do it very calmly in an icy sort of almost, again, like the Casino Royale bit of half hitman, half monk sort of assassin sort of vibe, but the tailor and the sartorial look on him is just absolutely pretty much flawless.
Yeah, no, I really love
gorgeous.
That suit. I did a lot of screen grabs of that guy. I kind of fell in love with him as I was doing these screen grabs. I was like,
yeah, absolutely. The wardrobe, and just, man, that the hair, the looks, that jawline is like,
oh, that's a tall glass of water going on there. That was
heterosexual man crush right there.
I know. I'm gonna have to look into this guy, see what's going on. I know it's. Oh, go on, Sam. No, go ahead.
I just want to add one more thing. I think certainly, like, if you remember from Quantum of Solace, the Green Party look, in the light blue tie, the navy blue suit, I think there's definitely some the costume design's probably taken a lot from that as well, because that also is a very good look for Craig as well. I think that you can see that reflected in Simon Baker's character during the film.
Yeah. Also, the scene where he's shaving and it's going against the grain, which is like a really awkward way of shaving. I didn't. I was kind of. I don't know why. I don't know why that was going on like that. But the other guy comes out of the bathroom and goes, "Oh, you're going to fire me today?" And he's like, there you go. And I thought, oh God, I wrote down, God, he's a cold bastard. And then I looked it up in IMDb, and apparently in the trivia, he was supposed to say, "Oh, sorry about that." It was supposed to be like the closing line for him, and they were going to have closure in that relationship. But the director said, "Actually, let's just leave him a cold bastard. It works much better."
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, moving on to Paul Bettany, who plays Will Emerson, and he reports to Sam. So how did you look at the style on this one, Zed, for Paul Bettany?
So again, I think him and Simon come across as the modern tailored bankers. So again, Paul's suits are very well tailored. he's dressing for his role, probably, but also probably dressing for the next role up, as subtly, you could say. But certainly, like when you first see him, it's a dark suit, white shirt, a navy blue pattern tie. But then when he goes to senior managers meeting later on, you see him do a costume change where he gets the three-piece, a lovely grey suit. I mean, for me, I like this grey suit, and I love the grey and black pattern tie, which he wears in a typical Windsor knot, which is quite prominent as well. But again, it's like, I think he's the representative of the next generation of bankers, and certainly he's seeing he's going to go after Sam's role should this end.